Hi, I'm the List Girl and welcome to my videographic journal.
Let's go!
So today I'm going to be sharing one of the 2 ways that I try to keep productive. This is my 2022 Habitica setup. For those of you that don't know what Habitica is, it is a productivity app that gamifies your life, and it is absolutely brilliant. You can use it on your own or with other people, which is called a party. You use your habits, your dailies and your to-dos to defeat bosses in quests, which you take on with said party or by yourself if that's the route you choose to take. Personally, as you can see from my Habitica, I have taken the party route because it helps me remain accountable for the things that I do. Because if I miss or skip a habit, a daily, or a to-do, not only I, but my party also suffers the consequences in the form of losing health points, which then affects our level. Because if our health bar goes all the way down to 0, we drop down a level. And if I were ever to skip or miss a habit, a daily, or a to-do, I would feel really crap about the fact that I may have just jeopardized someone else's level score. Now, having gone through a simple explanation of what Habitica is, let us begin with my habits list. It's quite straightforward. It's where I keep my habits. Mostly I have things that I want to keep track of on this list, to be honest, like my dietary needs, how much water I've consumed, if I've been a good bunny parent, if I've taken a shower that day, just to like remind myself. I feel like the only 2 habits on there that I'm like that aren't just like a tracker type thing, then that is something that I'm properly working towards or working on, is the avoid processed foods and avoid sugar. Because I've put on a bit of COVID weight, not gonna lie, and I need that to go. Those are really the only 2 habits that I'm like purposefully focusing on. The rest are mainly just to keep track of. The color on each of the item have different meanings. If it is yellow/orange, it means that I could do better. If it's green, it means that I'm doing good. And if it's like this bluish turquoise color, it means that I am really good in that certain thing. If it's red, it means that like just it's bad, basically. Like I'm not trying at all, basically. But as you can see, I am doing okay for now. Maybe not in the food area, but everything else I'm okay. If I have completed a habit, I press the plus button, which then gives me experience points, and if I get to a certain point on the experience bar, I level up. And it also gives me gold, which as you can see, I'm doing pretty well on. The gold can then be exchanged for costumes, equipment, and pets. Pet related stuff like eggs and potions and that kind of stuff. But I won't get into that in this video. If I failed to keep to a certain habit, then I would press the minus button, and that would cause me and my party mates to lose health points, which is bad. And it's that aspect of this productivity app that keeps me motivated in wanting to be productive and doing well in what I'm doing, so that it doesn't affect other people. Next, we have the dailies list, which I shall go through, where I keep my daily routines, basically, such as my morning routine and my night routine. And then everything else in between is stuff that I have to do on a daily basis. This first one up here, to get up right away, was part of a party challenge that we had going on. We were all struggling to get up on time, and so the party leader, he decided that he was gonna set up a challenge for all of us to get up on time when like, for example, when our alarms go off or whatever in the morning. And the motivation for wanting to do that was that whoever won the challenge at the end of the week, I think it was a week challenge, we won a certain amount of gems. I ended up winning because I'm very competitive. This toilet one is just So I tend to go first thing in the morning, and I have IBS, and a good indicator of whether I'm about to have like a trigger of my IBS pain or whatever, or have another relapse, is if I've missed going to the toilet. So it's kind of there to like every morning and be like, yeah, cool, I've been, so check that off, I'm probably good today. This is probably too much information, but that's why it's there. It's more of a like a tracker to be like, yeah, I went this morning, so I should be okay. I tend to go twice a day, but it's just the morning one that I keep track of, because I know that I've gone at least once. But anyways, wake up at 10 a.m. I'm trying to get into the habit of waking up between 9:30 and 10. That's why that's there. It's a reminder or a tracker type of thing. And then we have my morning routine. I don't know why it says starts at 8 a.m. because I literally just said 9:30 and 10. I guess back when I first wrote this list of morning routine items or whatever, I wanted to do it at 8 a.m, but I'm trying to just take it easy on myself. So on my morning routine, I have take my vitamins. That's what those things are. Combination C is a mixture of magnesium, phosphate, and that kind of stuff, like minerals. And then Ferratics is liquid iron and a bunch of vitamins like B12, vitamin C, that kind of stuff. Today's tasks is basically just making sure that I know what I'm supposed to be doing, like checking my to-do list on my bullet journal so that I'm aware what I have to do today. And then I cycle for 20 minutes, after which I have a shower and eat my breakfast. This weekly planning I only do on Sundays, which is why it's neither ticked and it's grey. If it's grey, it means you don't have to worry about that today. These ones are grey because I've already completed them today, but this one is grey without a tick because it's set up to be triggered on Sundays only. And then after my morning routine, I'll have a quick look over my vision board, which I have set up on Evernote in like a little grid that I set up with a bunch of pictures of like what I want my life to look like. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays, as you can see, I go to the post office for my work to drop off whatever's been purchased. And then every single day, or at least every single weekday, I have 4 tasks, 4 categorical tasks that I work on every single day. Every single weekday. I have 1 chore task. I have 1 business task, which is usually to upload stuff to Depop. I have 1 YouTube task, which is to complete a video project, and 1 hobby, which is just, you know, to enjoy something that I like to do. By having these 4 core categorical tasks every single day, whoa, wait, let me brighten this a second. Yeah, that's good. By having these categorical tasks every single day, it helps me to not become overwhelmed throughout the week, but at the same time keep up with all the important things that matter to me in my life, such as my YouTube channel, my work, my hobbies, and just taking care of the house so that it doesn't get to the end of the week and I'm like, I've got all these chores to do. Instead, I just work on 1 each every day of the week, and I can just chill on the weekends because I don't have to worry about, I mean, I still do a chore on the weekends, but I don't have to do it all there and then, so I don't become overwhelmed. If I like do it this way, it means that I can spread it out and remain balanced and not get overwhelmed. And that's been working for me for like 2 years, maybe. I mean, sometimes I like get demotivated and depressed and anxious, and I like lose track of the ball, but this is definitely a way that I found that really does work for me. And then this complete all of today's tasks is just if I've ticked everything off. If I haven't, then I leave that unchecked. And what happens when you leave something unchecked on the dailies is unlike the habits, if you hit the minus button, you will lose health points and it affects you badly. Whereas in the dailies, if you leave something unchecked and uncompleted, you will lose health points. So if, say for like dailies, for example, this is like the most important, most task heavy list in my daily stuff that I have to do. And so if there are things that don't get done and I leave unchecked, it affects me and the party, and we all lose health points. So it is very important that you do the stuff on the list. And in this case, you have to be self-aware and honest, because if you lie and you tick something off without doing it, you're only fooling yourself. You're only disappointing yourself. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I want to grow as a person and I want to build these habits. So I wouldn't put these habits on a list if I wasn't going to do them. And if I'm going to lie to myself and be like, yeah, okay, I did it, so like other people aren't affected, then yeah, I'm not hurting my party, but I'm in a sense hurting myself, because I'm not actually working towards that goal or that task or that habit. And it could end up getting me into a habit where I am just ticking things off willy-nilly, not having done them, and it kind of just loses its importance. So I like to be conscious, I guess, that I am ticking things off once I've done them, and only once I've done them, because they are actually things I want to work on. And it does scare me that if I do tick something without having done it, I will get into that habit of just ticking it without having done it and then losing the importance. Also, when I get to the end of the day and if I haven't done something, it makes me feel really bad because I know it's going to affect other people. And that kind of motivates me for the next day to be like, okay, I need to focus on this. I didn't do it yesterday, I need to do it today, because I don't want this to happen again. And that's something that came up a lot when I was trying to get my morning routine together. I feel like I've got it down now. The morning routine I have now has really been helping me feel better about myself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. But it was the hardest thing and took the longest to get together because I didn't want to cycle. I really wanted it to be part of my morning routine, but there were a lot of days where I was just like not able to tick it off because one of the subtasks on my morning routine task was to cycle. But if I leave a subtask undone, I can't tick it off because I didn't do my morning routine, so I can't tick it off. And that would then push me the next day to do it, because it would mean that I would yet again leave something undone. I would not be happy about that. I did as Shia LaBeouf said, and I did it. I just did it. And now I've gotten into habit. And I'll even show you on my Evernote. No. So yeah, it is sticking, it has stuck, but it took a while to get into it. But it was definitely that feeling of letting other people down, and by making them lose health points, but also I'll be letting myself down if I lied about doing something that I didn't actually do when I do want to get into a habit of doing it. So that pushed me forwards to get it done, and it keeps me to this day pushing forward to get it done, because I don't want to lie to myself and I want to keep the progress that I've made so far. And then I've also got my night routine, which is quite simple. Catch up with mum and dad, take my vitamins, do my teeth. I don't put it on there because it's just something I just do. It's not something I really need to keep track of or make a habit, it's just something I do. Now, my to-do list has changed quite a lot since the last Habitica setup video I made. I now use it as a list of goals. I don't use it as a task list. I have a bullet journal for that. Now it's my 2022 goals, which are to create 50 YouTube videos in 2022. I've already made 10. That means I'm a quarter of the way there. It's also to complete 20 bucket list goals this year. Hang on. I've actually completed 3, but what has happened is that at the start of the year when I made this goal, I went through my bucket list and I picked the 20 goals that I wanted to do, but last week spontaneously, Georgia and I went to watch Hannah Gatsby live. My favourite comedian, well, Sarah Millican and Hannah Gatsby are my favourite comedians of all time. But I went to watch Hannah Gatsby, and on my bucket list it was to watch a comedy show. So I've ticked that off, but I didn't put it on my list because this was something that we did very spontaneously. Like literally, I did not know we were going until like 2 hours before the show started. So it was very spontaneous, but it's so good. I regret nothing. But yeah, I've actually completed 3, not 2, but I just picked those at the start of the year. So I'll change that in my own time. It's also, another goal is to get 5,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button below. Heal my gut. My IBS fucked up gut, and to get out of debt. Let's not talk about that. So yes, one thing I like about this to-do list, which is why I've kept my goals on here, is the fact that when you add subtasks to your tasks, it kind of keeps track of the numbers here, and it shows you how you're progressing towards those goals. I really like that. It really like motivates me. Like the more progress I made and I see like these numbers climbing, that makes me feel so good. So something that motivates me is statistically seeing my progress, not just like physically, like, oh, like say for example I'm trying to lose my COVID weight. I will eventually start seeing my weight disappear, but for example back here, seeing these things turn blue and seeing my morning routine numbers, streak counter for example here, go up, also makes me happy. The reason why this is I've lost my streak is because I don't work out on Sundays. The Lord rested on Sundays, and so do my legs. But yeah, so yeah, statistics like these make me feel really good about myself. So I can see here that I've already got like, is that a quarter of the way? A fifth of the way? And that makes me really happy. I'm progressing. I like that. It's motivating for me. And the reason why I don't use this as a task list is because I seem to do a lot better and I'm a lot more productive, prepared and organized when I physically on a regular basis write down the tasks that I have to do, but also when it's written out in a weekly format that I then prepare, plan and organize the week before. That is what works for me, and unfortunately, as you can see, Habitica doesn't have that. Like there is no weekly schedule, no weekly format of any sort. If there was, I would probably keep it on here, but there isn't. But then again, I do feel like I retain information a lot better when I write it down, so maybe I wouldn't, but maybe I would, who knows. But that's why I have a bullet journal-ish thing in compared to using this list as a task list. So yes, that is my 2022 Habitica setup. It works for me so far. I don't know if things are going to change. If they do, maybe I'll do an updated version of this later on in the year, but I don't think it's going to change much, so probably won't be. But I'll probably do one next year if things have changed. Yes, this is working for me very well. Let me know in the comments below how you use your Habitica, if you use Habitica, if you plan on using Habitica, and if it works for you, or if you're interested in Habitica and have found this video helpful. I would like to know that also. But anyways, I am the list girl, and before I log off, I have just one question for you. What is your next adventure?